Get ready for another wild ride. Over 100 episodes of retro gaming. Sit back and relax. It's time for another exciting episode of Memory Lane.
Alright, we have a very special episode of Memory Lane today where I interview one of the longest lasting original Animal Crossing players, my mother. And before we do that, let's take a look at what we have here. So Animal Crossing originally came out on the Nintendo 64 in Japan, and luckily it was ported to the GameCube over here in the United States. I purchased the GameCube originally back in 2002, and I remember borrowing Animal Crossing from a friend in school, and I really had no idea what it was. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. But it turns out I loved the game so much that I had to go out and buy my own copy, and then eventually, soon after that, my mother actually started playing it. And that's what you're about to see. So check this out.
Hi, my name is Debbie. I come from West Haven, Connecticut, and I spent most of my time as a child on the beach. When I was a baby, my mother and father worked as shills in the amusement park that was there at the time in the 1950s. And my mom used to carry me around in her arms and have a stuffed animal, and people would ask her where she got it from, and she would tell them that she got it from a certain place, one of the booths there, and that it was easy to win. And then she would they would get paid for getting people to go to their different stands. My father also was a veteran. He was in Korea. My father was a master printer and engraver. And many times he took me to where he worked and showed me all the things that he did with his machine. I want all you young people to understand that when we were children and when we were young adults, there was no arcades, there was no things like, well, maybe pinball. But that's about the stretch of it, because there was no things like Pong and things like that. The first time I saw Pong was when I moved to Massachusetts with my father, and we used to go visit a bar because we're all basically adults, and we played Pong. My stepmother and myself, we played Pong a lot on there. I remember the first Nintendo games that my children got in the house, and they were funny to me because every time they tried to put them in the cartridge thing, they'd have to go and put it in, and then after that, they'd play for a while, and then it'd mess up, and then they'd have to do that again and again and again. And there was no computers. The first computer that came into the house was from Joseph. His father had a computer that was an old one somebody gave to him. And Joseph learned to read from the computer a lot better. He was a good reader, but he was a slow reader, so he decided to, my husband decided to ask him, what is this word? What is that word? Because he'd pretend like he couldn't read it. And he would turn around and he'd read the whole sentences for him, and he got to be a little quicker, so it helped him a lot. And as it came from me, the first time that I opened my eyes up to video game is Animal Crossing. There's no way to make you understand that. It makes you feel like, especially if you're renting apartments and you don't own much of your own things, that when you get onto in Animal Crossing, you're actually feeling like, oh, you bought a house and you're paying for a house, and you have to run around all over there picking the fruit and pulling the weeds and trying to sell whatever you find, and it's like being for real almost for a person that doesn't have the kind of income that other people do have to buy a house. So to me, when I put my Animal Crossing on and I fix up all the houses for all the characters and things, it's because it makes me feel like it's my houses and these are my renters, and this is my little place to go to when I'm tired and I'm just distracted with the world, and it makes me feel a lot better about myself. It makes me feel pleasure. It makes me feel like I'm doing something that's important. I've been doing these games for, I think, more than 15 years. And every one of my characters I love, and I miss them if something happens to the game and messes their house up or something. And it's really a really good thing for a person that has like depression, because they can turn around and play these games and you can maybe laugh at this, but it makes you feel like you're more important because you got your games and you're helping your people get their food, get their money, improve their apartments, and it's really nice. I would recommend Animal Crossing #1 to young people, because especially young people that are still in school, so they could use it as a example of what you have to do to get yourself a house and get yourself situated without having to really have to do it already. It's also good for people that have a hard time dealing with other people, and it's not a very frustrating game. It helps frustration go away. I'd say for older people, my age and maybe a little younger, it's a nice pastime when you're done doing everything else you have to do around the house or something like that. Or when you come home from work and you're so aggravated about things, you just turn on your game and pretend you're there. And these are your friends that you're helping to get their food and get their stuff and run to the store and buy whatever notions you want to buy. and it's a very relaxing game. It makes you feel important. Okay, first I'll show you Joe's house. And Joe will go and visit the other houses. Okay, this is Joe's house. His wall is made from me. I made it in the art part, where you go in and you make a pattern. Also here, I did the same thing for the floor. This is the regular color from them, and I made this floor. And notice Joseph has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these games. which I understand. I've never played any of them, but I understand you can actually play with them. And this is the cellar. A lot of times I put the bathroom in the cellar. And this is how this is, yeah. This is funny. This is the one that hasn't finished paying his thing yet because he's brand new. His name is Yusef. And this is the pyramids in the background. You make them at the spot where you make your walls and things. Thing is if you try to make a picture of something, it'll come up like dozens of pictures on your wall. This is Mary's house. Mary likes the color red. Also, she has red and white because she likes the color red. And down the cellar is my favorite part that I made for her. This is her outdoor time, her outdoor place. A chair you can sit on. These for some reason you can't sit on, but it's nice. There's also a girl's house. This is Feeney's house. This is Feeney's bedroom. And she has a special bathroom in there. I like that music because it makes me think of Feeny when she was a little girl. That's the first person. That's Joe's monument for paying his house. And this is the other one. And the other one. And I think we have one that hasn't finished paying yet. This is funny because I like looking at the fishes. And that chicky sound, that is up on the top there. There's frogs up there. I believe this game has all of the pieces, I think. Yes, they do. This is the only thing they've finished. This is all the old bones. And somewhere in here is a funny one. There's a cockroach that you can't kill. Because it's the only one that it's allowed to stay alive. Here he is. He's somewhere here. Pictures are hard to find. Because you find them in the store, and sometimes you find them if you dig them up from somewhere. Or if you trade something with one of the characters. You can trade things sometimes. It's not very easy, but you can get some nice things from the animals. I have millions and millions of oranges here, or what seems like millions. You also can pick up seashells, and sometimes there is this funky looking dude that you find washed up on shore. And if you turn around and wake him up, he'll turn around and give you a surprise package, which it could be any kind of thing that he's got in his pockets, I guess. and then you can go sell it. And some of the things are very expensive that he gives to you. In the middle of the night of the game, there's a ghost. And they have, I think, 4 or 5 of the little spirits that look like flames that you have to catch and run around all over town. Oh, good. I got out. Yeah, this is Mr. Roper's house. Because on the TV show, Mr. Roper thought he was always the king. So I made it look like a castle inside. And he's got all the kingly stuff. I made the heart wallpaper for her. I made just one heart and it turned into a whole wallpaper thing with a whole bunch of hearts. Now this is cool. I like it. I made a school. In this game, I actually made jobs for two of the characters, and this one is the lady. She's a school teacher, and this is the desk and the chair, and some of the stuff that. And this is actually the school teacher. This is a lamb. I think he's walking with something in his hand. Alright. There's various different characters because sometimes they leave and sometimes they come back. Sometimes they stay and then they disappear. You don't have a choice of who moves into your town. I like this little guy. Yeah, out shopping. That means that he's either gone on the train and hasn't come back yet. This is looks like another sheep. Oh no, it's not. KK Slider. I love listening to the music. If I could get a cassette of him singing, not just the music, but him singing all the songs that he sings, I would be very, very happy because I just love listening to the dog singing. This is KK Slider. He's a little dog that my son gave to me, and it's one of my favorite things that I have.